and welcome to National Panasonic Cup final time. It's the time that we've all been waiting for, the wonderful buzz going all around the ground. But let's get on with the business. The history of this game has been marvellous. It's been going since 1974, and that was the year that Western Division won it. A real turn-up, a boil-over. 75 came Eastern Suburbs, 76 Balmain, 77 Western Suburbs, 78 Eastern Suburbs, 79 Cronulla Sutherland, 80 Parramatta, 81 South Sydney, 82 and 83 Manly Warringah, and 84 Brisbane, 85 Balmain, and 86 is Parramatta. Well, the finalists, of course, are Penrith and Balmain. Now, the interesting thing is the amount of money that's involved. When they started out, it was only $50,000. Look at it now. The winner, $140,000. The runner-up, $100,000. So there it is now, the proud record that the sides have had in this cup. The cup champions in 76 and 85 were Balmain. The runners-up in 80 and 86. Penrith were runners-up in 1974. Now, the National Panasonic Cup, the way the results went for each side to get into this, Penrith 14 defeated Brisbane 2. That was a great game. Penrith 14 defeated Cronulla 14-6. And the semi-final resulted in an overwhelming win to Penrith 32 to Parramatta's 22. Balmain, for their part, came up with a massive score over Port Moresby, 62-8. Balmain then got pretty close with Balmain and South Sydney 11-10. And the semi-final, Balmain 14, Eastern Suburbs 12. The Penrith side, as we look through it, is a good one. Robards, Robinson, Bentley, Izzard, Lydiard, Alexander, Fitzhenry, Craig Izzard at lock, Geyer, Cartwright, Ackery, Royce Simmons is the captain, Brandon Lee is the other prop, and the coach is Tim Sheens. Now, the Balmain side is a very, very good one. Jack, Davidson, Conlon, Hanrahan, Gartner, Gale, Neal, Pearce, Brooks, Sirinen, Sinclair, Elias, Clark, and the coach, of course, is Bill Anderson. OK, so there you've seen the sides, you've seen the lot. Now let's have a listen to Graeme Hughes as he brings us some up-to-date information.
Well, Rex, you've said it all. Something about cup final. There is a real buzz around the ground here at Parramatta Stadium. A crowd getting close to, say, 15,000 already inside the stadium, but also a buzz coming from the Penrith dressing room. Everybody will be looking for another huge performance from Greg Alexander. We expect that from him. But Timmy Sheens is looking for a big performance tonight from his forwards if the Panthers are going to come of age at any stage in Sydney. The back rowers for mine are the ones where we'll be looking for the big performances from Izzard, Geyer, and Johnny Cartwright. Now, David Fordham's been down to the Tigers. Is there a buzz down there?
There's a great feeling of confidence in their camp as well, Graeme. It's a big ask, 3 matches in 7 days. But they know what cup football is about. I think the 4 quarters suits them. I'm expecting the kicking game of Scotty Gale and Ben Elias to try and dominate in the first 2 quarters by turning the Penrith defence around. Don't be surprised to see the early field goal from Benny Elias. And I think that they hold a decided advantage in the goal kicking. Ross Collins showed in the first game here of the season against Parramatta. He doesn't mind the Parramatta Stadium, and I think it could be a big performance from big Ross Collins tonight. OK, well, it's going to be a super cup final. And just a reminder for all our viewers tonight, at halftime, we'll be showing you in the correct order the 6 chosen tries in the Golden Try competition for 1987. And also, as we take a look at the National Panasonic Superstar points for the game, Greg Alexander out ahead in 8 points, and the man that could catch him tonight looking for a big one, Benny Elias. So, Rex, we're down to the business end, and it's all up for grabs.
That's putting it mildly. Benny Elias only a couple of points behind Greg Alexander in the Superstar Award. Before we go to the break, let's just look back at the season 1987 in retrospect.
Panasonic Cup final between Penrith and Balmain. It's time now to welcome both teams to the Parramatta Stadium. Firstly, the Penrith Panthers, making only their 2nd appearance in a cup final. At number 1 and fullback, Rob Robards. Number 2 and playing on the right wing, Mark Robinson. Playing in the centres and wearing number 3, Cole Bentley. His centre partner in number 4, Brad Izzard. On the left wing in number 5, David Lydiard. At 5'8", number 6, Greg Alexander. Number 7, halfback, the youngster Anthony Fitzhenry. Number 8 and lock forward, Craig Izzard. Number 9 in the second row, Mark Geyer. His second row partner wearing number 10, John Cartwright. In the front row, number 11, Paul Ackery. Number 12, their hooker and captain, Royce Simmons. And partnering Royce and Paul in the front row, number 13, Brandon Lee. So that's the Penrith lineup for this very important cup final for 1987. Their team, of course, coached by Tim Sheens, who played in the first cup final in 1974. And now to the Balmain side, tonight making their 5th appearance in a National Panasonic Cup final and their 3rd in succession. Number 1 and fullback, Gary Jack. Number 2, on the wing, John Davidson. In the centre, wearing number 3, goal-kicking maestro, Ross Conlon. Number 4, Gavin Hanrahan. Wearing number 5, on the wing, the veteran Russell Gartner. At 5'8", wearing number 6, Scott Gale. Number 7, at halfback, Michael Neal. Wearing number 8, the lock forward and captain, Wayne Pearce. Number 9, in the second row, David Brooks. Number 10, Paul Sirenen. Playing at prop forward, wearing number 11, Bruce Sinclair. Number 12 and hooker, Benny Elias. And in number 13, the prop forward, Paul Clark. So both sides out there for this very important cup final to decide the National Panasonic Cup for 1987. And the man in charge tonight for this 14th cup final, the referee, Mr. Michael Stone.
Okay, well, the protagonists are on the field now, ready for the fray. Balmain are apparently going to run from left to right. They will have tossed in the grandstand. Penrith will be receiving the ball. Penrith in their chocolate and, well, the chocolate soldiers is what they're called, but their uniform is brown and white. The Tigers in their traditional black and gold.
Absolutely ideal conditions, couldn't be better. Ball may get a little bit wet with dew, but we've had fog up here, but even that's lifted. It's as if whoever's responsible for giving good days or good nights for rugby league games has been watching very carefully this one.
And away they go. Mark Robinson comes up with a strong, powerful burst and gets beyond the quarter from the kickoff. There's a little bit of how's your father going on right now. Clark and Simmons were into that. The opening seconds of the game has dissolved into a real ruckus on the quarter line. Penrith's end, Simmons and Clark were the two involved right from the outset. And it'll be interesting to see exactly what the referee does about this. One can't believe that he'll sin bin players at this stage.
Well, there it is on replay. Clark was the man coming in, swinging arm on 1 or 2 occasions there in the tackle. Royce Simmons took exception. He rushed in. Cup final night, we're used to sensations, and I noticed a little aside whilst the brawl was going on that Scott Gale and Greg Alexander, the 2 number 6s, a head-to-head clash. The 2 of them came together, also trying to sort each other out. Clark was the man that came in to assist the tackle of Sinclair and Brooks. The swinging arm coming up underneath Mark Robinson. You'll see Royce Simmons rush in. He took exception. He is the captain. He's the one that's got to settle his side down. Royce's certainly revved up for this clash. He's up against his #1 opponent in the game, Benny Elias. And now the chat to Paul Clark. I think originally the penalty should have gone Penrith's way.
Well, the referee having quite a long talk to some of the Balmain players there. Clark was the main one that he was concerned with. The penalty's gone to Penrith and the crowd erupts. Well, I'd say that Penrith, by definition, are the logical favourites here in terms of crowd appeal. They must have come down from the mountains in their busloads. Fitzhenry to start it up. The kick downfield. And already Balmain have been penalised the second time for failure to get back to 10 metres. A bit of stupid football from Balmain. Too pumped up, too much adrenaline flowing, and too concerned with defence.
It might also be the tactics here from Mick Stone. This was the tactics from Penrith. You're going to see this in the opening 5 or 10 minutes. A lot of kicking from both teams, but Mick Stone, especially after the way that brawl erupted in the opening minutes, Mick Stone's going to put his stamp on this clash. A couple of early penalties to show who's in charge.
Cartwright gets it onto Ackery. Ackery makes it to the quarter. Simmons at dummy half. Onto Brandon Lee. Charges ahead. Makes a gain of about 3 metres. Ackery comes away with the ball. Loses the ball. Fallen on by Penrith, so there'll be a scrum. Ackery's teammates will be saying to him, don't lose the ball, don't waste it. Very tense moments, the opening stanza in this game. Little Michael Neal comes away with a run round the side of the scrum. Pearce at dummy half, away to Gary Jack. I don't know what he's doing in there. He's lost the ball, his arm's got it, and swept himself to within 9 metres of the goal line. Gets to his feet, nobody there to pass the ball to. Cole Bentley was the nearest back and he was about 11 metres away. Simmons now going to set up a blind side, gets it on to Brandon Lee and he charges at the line, only 2 metres out. Royce Simmons away to Fitzhenry, onto Alexander, long cut-out pass. Gone out there to Robinson, who's still 10 metres out, gets to his feet. Gaius trying to get himself propelled forward. He was standing still when he took that ball. It'll grab a kick through into the in goal. Gary Jack's got it. Fitzhenry effects a tackle on him, as does Alexander. Benny Elias trying to run from dummy half, and he's dragged back into the in goal. Now only half his body over the line. Wayne Pearce going straight and hard. And this time it's going to be Ackery called out for the tackle he effected on Wayne Pearce. See it again.
Well, originally the penalty going Balmain's way because the markers not lining themselves directly in front of the man playing the ball, Benny Elias. Ackery was keen to have a bit of a wrestling match with Wayne Pearce. Marm coming across the face of the Balmain skipper. And there was obviously no need for it. And another warning. So plenty of feeling in the 87 National Panasonic Cup.
Oh, now Scott Gale's kicked. And the ball's got off the side of his foot, and the gain is 1 yard. 1 yard from the goal line. The tap restart. Russell Gardner comes in to take it. Penrith are all fired up, I can tell you. Benny Elias elects to go in his own there, makes a few metres. Neal's at dummy half, away to Clark. Clark buried by Ackery. Back to Scott Gale. And he gets it the hell out of there and kicks it up over the halfway line. Mark Robinson trying to run, and he's now dragged towards the sideline by Davidson. Izzard's pass to Fitzhenry, a long cut-out pass. Play situated midway between the quarter and the halfway line. Bit of passing there, nobody going forward. Geyer, the last man to take it. Simmons up the blind side, away to Lydiard. Lydiard going strongly, but he makes no ground. Simmons had no one to pass to there. The back of the nearest player to him was turned to him. Gary Jack drops that behind him. The referee quite definite about that, no knock on. I agree with the decision. Neal at dummy half, onto Davidson. Davidson runs strongly. Craig Izzard tackles him. 14 minutes Still to go in this first quarter. And there's a penalty against Penrith for failure to get back to 5 yards. Well, let's hope that Scott Gale's now got himself intact and can kick effectively. That's better. That's more like Scott Gale's kick. Vinny Elias onto Gartner. Held it back over to Paul Clark, who went up the blind. Sinclair running on the edge of the ruck. Straight. Balmain setting up a move. Onto Neal. Conlon, the run around to Surinan, who makes no ground. They're tackled about 3 metres outside the quarter. Neal, Gale, Jack.
Come away, come away.
Just on the quarter line now. Vinny Elias gets a towering kick up. Oh, Gale's got it, and he scored! It's a wonderful try. Scott Gale has come up with a magic catch from a bomb. It went towering up in the air by Elias. Watch it again.
On the national Panasonic replay, another sensation, a super start for the Tigers. Scotty Gale decided to go for the ball. He wasn't just going to play the man. He left brilliantly to bring it down. Again on the replay, just keep your eyes on Gale if he does manage to get in front of Elias. No, he's clear. Mick Stone was in perfect position to see that. Plenty of pace to get underneath the ball. A great chase from Scotty Gale. And the Tigers supporters have erupted around Parramatta Stadium with this man, the electric Scotty Gale.
7th minute of the match. The Balmain. Fitzhenry kicks off. Taken by Jack, 10 metres from his line. Gets out to the quarter, Gartner there. Gartner trying to run from dummy half, makes it 3 or 4 metres. Vinny Elias. Wayne Pearce running as a foil. Sinclair has the ball stripped from him. Well, both sets of players have spilt the ball on one occasion each at this stage. Some very, very heavy hitting going on. Well, the two halfbacks are fighting over this one. Onto Lydiard, runs from dummy half, going cross-field. Oh, if he'd only looked for support, he had Izzard there on the boil outside of him. He could have slipped the ball to him. Bentley at dummy half. There's a clean ball, comes to the Balmain side after Penrith have spilled it. Gale. Clark, good pass out to Surinan. Surinan changes direction, tries to. Finally belted down by Geyer. Elias. Clark. Midway between the quarter and a half wave. Benny Elias goes for a sprint up the sideline, makes 5 yards. Gartner. Sinclair. He's a goer, this lad. Out to Gale. Gale steps, props, kicks downfield. The ball is touched by Robards. He's now got to defend himself. And he's tackled by Surinan, or should I say monstered by Surinan, 10 metres out from his line. Lydiard. Scooped away from dummy half. Royce Simmons lost the ball. Balmain in possession now. Neal's got it. A long cut-out pass out to Gale. Gale to Davidson. Davidson put down by Izzard. What do the footy tab people say about this game?
Rex, there's $65,000 in the dividend pool, and 60% of the fans have gone for the Tigers to win. With the popular score, Balmain 18, Penrith 10.
Thanks very much, Johnny Croucher. Balmain 18, Penrith 10. Out to Conlon. Hanrahan. Gardner's rounded his man. He's going beautifully, gets a pass back into Pearce. Pearce goes strongly, and he's tackled just short of the line. Doesn't go for the double movement. Gets to his feet, plays it now to Conlon. Conlon's backslammed hard by Ackery. Now it's in Hanrahan. Elias. Gale, there's an overlap out there if they can move it. Sinclair's gone on his own. There were 3 men over there on the left for Balmain, and the pass was taken. And Elias goes for the drop at goal. It's all too quick, and that was a miss. Whoa. Very hairy there for the moment. And seeing it again on the replay, that drop kick just evades the left-hand upright.
Penrith showing all their experience in big games, a lot of drop ball. They're continually starting to make mistakes. The nerves have gotten to them in this first quarter. The advantage for the Panthers is that as a young and inexperienced side, they get 3 breaks tonight with quarter football and a chance to settle down and listen to their coach, Timmy Sheens.
Oh, Guy missed a glorious opportunity there to run. He had Brandon Lee had put him into a gap and he dropped the ball. Elias tackled now. They'll make a meal on the mistakes made by Penrith. Gartner, Neil, Sheridan. Tackled about 15 metres into the Penrith half. Out to Conlon. Conlon straightens it up. Well tackled. Very good tackle there by Gaia. Neil. The ball touched a Balmain player. Got out to Hanrahan. Then to Pearce. Pearce tackled. Craig Izzard getting through some pretty strong defence. Scott Gale now kicks downfield. Taken by Robinson. And he shows all the power at his command to get out to the quarter. That's a good run. Robards, the fullback, comes in at dummy half. Davison gave him a cuff under the ear hole in that tackle. 6-0, the Balmain Tigers lead. We've got 7 minutes still remaining in this quarter. The kick downfield taken by Jack on the second bounce. He's got support on the outside. That's the only failing in his game as far as I can see. His inability to link with supports. Gartner, a barging, pushing run up the side. Brooks comes straight and hard. He's very well tackled by Brad Izzard, who's been penalised for failure to get away from the tackle player. Scott Gale will take the kick directly on the halfway line. That's a little bit more like it. He's made about 17 yards. 15 yards perhaps on that one, onto Gartner. Just sets up the play. Onto Sheridan, running as a foil. Got through the first tackle. Couldn't get through Cartwright's. Elias, Clark, Brooks, onto Pearce. Pearce gets a pass away late to Brooks. Out there to Hanrahan. He's tackled about 18 metres out from the Penrith line. Elias has a kick charge down, taken beautifully by Elias, and it's going to be a penalty to Balmain. Offside is the ruling. See it again.
Here it is as Benny Elias sets himself for the shot at field goal. Charged down and picked up by Johnny Cartwright, directly in front of the post.
He couldn't have been offside by more than half a metre. It's correct. 4 straight penalties have gone to Balmain. He was quite definitely correct in that ruling, but by gee, it was a very marginal one. Conlon will take this. He's getting a couple of easy kicks to settle his nerves down. To be truthful, he's not been in great form. He's been just missing for 2 weeks. Ross Conlon now from a metre short of the quarter. And only about 6 or 7 metres off centre. He's made it. So the score now with 4 minutes to go to quarter time. Balmain 8, Penrith 0. Fitzhenry gets them off. Taken by Scott Gale. Given to Sheridan. Very strong run. Gets beyond the quarter line by about 5 metres. Gartner. Elias. dummied to give it a Gardner. A couple of the Penrith players fell for it, but not Brendan Lee. Oh, there's a penalty. There should have been a penalty there. A little bit of shepherding on that occasion. Clark running on the open side of the ruck, 10 metres from the halfway line. Elias back to Gale. Gale gets a good torpedo punt away. Robards makes a meal of it again. Doesn't knock it on, but he's got to go back for it, and they're all onside. Tackled 10 metres out from his line. Robinson comes midfield, working nicely. Gets beyond the quarter line. Lydiard come in from the wing at dummy half. Both the wingers of Penrith side are being used fairly freely when Penrith are in possession. Downfield it goes. It's rolling, rolling, rolling. It'll go probably just close to into the end goal. It doesn't quite make it. Gary Jack picks it up. He's tackled about 7 metres short of the line. Plenty of chases there for Penrith. And now he's doing one of his lying down routines. And I would suggest he's not hurt.
Well, he takes the tackle, Gary Jack. For Penrith, they were looking for the chance to pin them well and truly down. Maybe 2 or 3 tackles before their forwards got back in their own quarter line. Good tactics. They settled down at least in that last set of 6 tackles. Quick play of the balls and running from dummy half in their own area. And Jack there taking the tackle. And a bit of a breather from the Balmain trainer, and he would probably notice by now that his 12 teammates are well and truly in possession behind him.
Very succinctly said. Yes, I'm opposed to this tactic of time wasting and getting the team back on side. I think referee Stone can, under certain circumstances, ask for a player immediately to get on with the game, make somebody else play it, or penalise.
Well, it certainly may not be the case for John Davidson here, as his head certainly comes well and truly into contact with the turf at Parramatta Stadium. Strong tackle from Mark Dyer. Crunch.
Yes, there's no argument with that one. I mean, that was obvious, but the other tackle of Gary Jack was a fairly simple sort of a tackle. And those of us that are involved in the rugby league world know what the tactic was for. Davidson's got a legitimate problem. His head came in contact with the ground very, very hard. Gets to his feet and plays it now. Out to Clark on the blind side of the ruck. About 2 minutes to go to quarter time. Benny Elias, Wayne Pearce taken out of it with a very good tackle there. Elias runs from dummy half, looks for support, can't get it. Swung to the ground outside the quarter. Many errors. They've got some players in the side that are natural ball players. They seem to be frozen. They're not coming on with anything at all. Greg Alexander's a case in point. He hasn't been sighted off nobbies. Let's get underway now with the kick at goal. No changes on either side. David, you've got some information?
Yes, Tim Sheens was, as you said it, Rex, very disappointed by the lack of ball control by the Penrith players in that first half. He's relying on the big men of Guy, Cartwright and Ackroyd to try and control it up the middle, try to use up their set of 6 and then let the explosive work of Alexander try to bring this game back into Penrith's way.
Well, Simmons has just thrown a dummy and made another 15 metres. They're up towards the halfway line now. Greg Alexander appealing for a penalty there, but none forthcoming. Oh dear, Brandon Lee just drops the ball. Not under any real pressure. There was some coming at him, but he had a look. It was a pretty awful handling display. Scrum's in and out. Neal's written off at the base of the Balmain scrum. Conlon at dummy half. To Gary Jack. Just inside the Penrith half. Clark. Upended. Elias, Surinen's coming on the burst and runs straight in, loses the ball forward. I think it's picked up by Alexander.
One of the few Balmain mistakes, as they've certainly had the better of the match with the penalties and the scrums. 4-2 the penalties and the scrums 2-1.
Brad Izzard got a good pass away to his brother Craig there, standing in a tackle. That was good. They need a little bit more of it. Crowd giving referee Stone a bit of hurry up there for what they thought to be a punch and a tackle. The kick down there by Fitzhenry is a great one. Takes play into Balmain's quarter.
Excellent kick by the young man, Andrew Fitzhenry, showing the way for a few more of his possibly a little bit more experienced teammates. They're coming up with plenty of turnovers in possession. Cool head on his shoulders there. The sort of tactics that Penrith need to try and get them back into this cup final.
And there's a penalty for Penrith. We'll see what the signal. It was an incorrect feed. Now this will give Penrith the opportunity to get themselves substantially into Balmain's quarter and have the opportunity to go for 6. Well, there wasn't a lot of care taken with that kick. He could have got another 7 or 8 yards out of that. Anyway, Simmons now. Onto Cartwright. A dummy. Driven towards the sideline. Onto Brandon Lee, and he's charged at the line, 9 metres out. Simmons clapping his hands impatiently there. On to Ackery. Ackery about 8 metres away from the line. Simmons, Fitzhenry, Alexander. Oh, some very good tackling there, and you'd expect Benny Elias to be involved in it. Way to Fitzhenry, props. Last tackle coming up. And there's a penalty against Conlon. Failure to let the tackle player get involved.
And again, credit this time to Andrew Fitzhenry. The man realised that the pressure's on for the Tigers, and he was struggling as quickly as possible to get to his feet, forcing the error out of Ross Conlon.
And the player being called over there at the moment is John Davidson with his captain Pearce. And Davidson's being spoken to, but the penalty had already been awarded. Well, Fitzhenry to take this. Now, the last time we saw this lad play, he kicked very well. We shall see whether the nerves of a final get to him. He's 5 metres short of the quarter line and about 20 metres in from the sideline. Not a difficult kick. And winds up now. And gets it. And the crowd erupt in front of us here with streamers and bits of paper being thrown in the air. So the score, Balmain 8, Penrith 2. Conlon coming back to get Balmain underway again. He's driven that hard. Taken by Craig Izzard. Gets out to the quarter. Very strong runner, this fellow. Simmons onto Geyer. Likes to stand a little bit off the ruck and come back in towards it. Ackery does just the opposite. Stands close to the ruck and runs away from it, leaving himself a bit of a mark. There's another penalty against Balmain. Failure to get away from the tackle player.
He continues the consistency, Mick Stone, but again, Penrith, with their tactics of trying to rush as quickly as possible to their feet.
Fitzhenry to take the kick. Now Royce Simmons anxious to get the ball in his hands. Cartwright onto Brandon Lee. Simmons, Ackery running straight. This is a good sequence of 6. There's 2 of the 6 gone. Simmons, Fitzhenry, Alexander evades one tackle. Gets a pass away to Izzard, Craig. Brandon Lee, Geyer. Simmons has got the blind side to operate. Kicks deep. The ball's gone into the in goal. Gary Jack's going to hasten back for it. He's tackled, evades one tackle, and can't evade the rest. Alexander finally got to him, put him down. So a line dropout to restart the play.
We've waited some 26 minutes of the 87 Cup final for Greg Alexander to inject himself in the game in attack, and he read it brilliantly there, the deep in goals at Parramatta Stadium. He saw that Gary Jack was flat. He put it over his head. Now the opportunity for the Penrith Panthers to receive the ball back again.
Jack goes for a low trajectory kick taken by Craig Izzard. He's on the move. Standing in a tackle, gets a pass back into Robinson. Robinson gets a pass away nicely to Geyer, and Geyer brings the ball all the way back to the 10-yard line. Fitzhenry moving it out now to Bentley. Bentley wrapped up in the tackle on the quarter line. Trying to duck under the defence, can't get a pass away there. Craig Izzard straight. Brandon Lee gets a facial massage in that tackle, last tackle coming up. Simmons, Alexander, caught, gets a pass away late, on to Fitzhenry, gets a high bomb in the air. Gary Jack's under it, the ball's gone in goal, and it's been a penalty to Balmain.
Now he's ruled here that Jack has forced the ball. Well, plenty of pressure on him here as the Penrith side were coming down. He leapt for the ball. Well, you could have argued maybe interference to the fullback, but he was the first man to touch it down.
I just wish he'd be a little bit more clear with his signals there. The long drop out this time, taken by Bentley. Bentley doesn't look to me to have quite enough pace for first grade as a centre. Out to Izzard. Izzard tackle midway between the halfway and the quarter. Robinson goes for a sprint up the side, gets to within 3 metres of the quarter line. Brandon Lee drops it again. Balmain come up with it.
It's a perfect way to lose cup finals, big matches, and you just continue to turn this ball over. Penrith serving the game up to Balmain.
Gary Jack. Benny Elias. Out to Clark. Sheridan kicks his way free of a tackle. Gets a pass away to Davidson on the left wing. Going well. He's only got the fullback to beat. Robards comes at him and puts him down with a copybook tackle. Now the ball comes across field from Clark. A long cut-out pass to Elias. Out there to Pearce. Pearce running well. Gets it to Hannigan. Hanrahan. Hanrahan goes straight and hard. And he's in a touch only about half a metre from the Penrith line.
Great rugby league from one side of the field to the other. Wayne Pearce, the short ball. Hanrahan claps on the pace. But Izzard comes across in a try-saving tackle. The Tigers only inches away from making Penrith eat that mistake of coughing the ball up yet again.
Now the scrum to be fed by Fitzhenry. After the crowd settled down after that bit of drama and excitement, 10 minutes gone. Fitzhenry comes up with the ball. Oh, and gets a tackle there that would have broken a lot of people in half. That was from Wayne Pearce. Gregory, Bentley rather, has lost the ball. Giving it out to Neil. Neil away to Davidson. Davidson wrapped up in a tackle out there by Robinson, and again Penrith survive. On to Sinclair, goes straight. Elias electing to run on his own there. Balmain aligned very deeply. Stone standing over the fallen warrior as the trainer treats him. He'll be okay. He's into a sitting position. And it's on with the Motley. 8-2, about 9 minutes to go in the second quarter. Simmons does the tactic of kicking for touch. Should get the scrum feed if the tackle count is correct.
Good tactics from Royce Simmons. They've been under enormous pressure, the Panthers, and the opportunity again to win the ball with the feed.
Well, they've won it. Fitzhenry comes away with it. Just outside their quarter. Ackery running as a foil there. Simmons, Gaia. Well, the Balmain defence are not having all the amount of trouble with Gaia tonight. And again, Simmons does the little kick for touch. Again, Penrith should get the feed.
And they're just trying to crib their way out of their own half. Royce Simmons has said, we've had enough of trying to keep this Balmain side out of our own quarter line.
Alexander onto Lydiard. Lydiard goes through from the blindside wing. Outside the 5'8". Brandon Lee, who's already spilt the ball 3 times, tackled on the halfway line. Robson, Ackery. Into Tiger territory at last. 8-2 the score. Simmons. Oh, the ball's gone astray. It's been picked up and given to Neil. Neil goes crossfield. Tackle. Benny Elias at dummy half. On to Gary Jack. Now Balmain. On to David Brooks. He motored forward about 15 metres there. Clark. The dummy, got a pass away beautifully to Sirenen. Sirenen's going strongly. Get a one-handed pass away. It's out there to Conlon. Conlon gets it to Gardner, and Gardner's in. Gardner's in. The try's been allowed, and Penrith are in disarray.
On the national Panasonic replay, Balmain again make Penrith pay for the mistake of turning the ball over. Great ball put away by Paul Clark. The big man was able to stand. Another terrific ball back to Michael Neal. Ross Conlon did well to draw all 3 Panthers to him. Greg Alexander was on the spot. He tried to get there, but he was the one that took the corner post. Again, you'll see Clark make the break. He plays strongly in both quarters. A terrific ball to Sirenen, who supported his front rower. He stands here and unloads. Michael Neal's been in everything. Ross Conlon perfectly times his pass out to Gardner, and a great finisher. And Balmain, they're looking great in this cup final of 87 as we see Clark charge ahead again here onto Sirenen. Only 5 minutes away from the end of the second quarter, and only 5 minutes away from the end of Act 2 of what's an Act 4 for them tonight. A play written by Billy Anderson, and they're carrying it out to the letter.
I'm full of admiration for young Clark. Paul Clark, the prop forward there, threw the dummy and gave a perfectly timed pass to Neil, who took it low down. But it's an excellent bit of football by Balmain. Ross Conlon 2 from 2. This one, his most difficult kick by far, is from the sideline, 1 metre in, and about 2 metres out beyond the quarter line. 12 points to 2. Ross Conlon now. Just away to the right, so the score remains Balmain 12, Penrith 2, and 4 minutes of this quarter to go. Fitzhenry gets it away. Gale takes it. Feeds it back to Gardner. Gardner comes to a sudden stop. Elias running from dummy half there. He won't be unaware of the fact that he's only 2 points behind Greg Alexander in the Superstar Award. That's out to Clark. Well taken by Elias. Had to reach for that. Kicks it downfield. Young Robson gets to it on the bounce. And is tackled about 12 metres inside his own half. Alexander. On to Robinson, and he comes to a sticky end there. Clark was one of the defenders. Simmons, Izzard, Ackery. Oh, there's a chance now as the ball's been kicked against the Balmain player. It's cleaned up by Lydiard, who had gone back and was by far the quickest to go back. He's brought it back about 20 metres out from his line now. Cole Bentley running from there. Still inside his quarter. Simmons kicked very well by Brandon Lee. And that is a marvellous kick with 2 minutes to go. Takes play well over towards the quarter line of the Balmain side, midway between the halfway and the quarter. Neil will feed it for the Balmain side. Well, it went in and out so far behind did it go that Davidson had to go for it, the winger. Wayne Pearce. Elias onto Gary Jack. About 8 metres from the halfway line. Neil. Gale. Out to Pearce. Pearce is running very wide at the moment. Sirenen. Elias. Kicks downfield. And that's out on the full. Way out on the full. Scrum back in Balmain's half by 7 or 8 metres.
And the last minute of the second quarter, and Wayne Pearce before he packed down, telling his fullback Gary Jack to stay back for a possible kick.
Alexander away to Robart, standing on the blind side of the scrum. Mark Robinson, legs taken away from underneath him by Neil. Simmons, cut-out pass to Geyer. 10 metres from the Balmain quarter line. Alexander. Back inside to Cartwright. Good switch of play. Simmons. Alexander. Geyer not able to get going. Tackle straight away. Simmons. Fitzhenry. And the ball's been put down by Alexander. Sirenen's got it. And that will be the end of the action. Yes, the referee is still having a look at it, but that's the end of the action. So the score at half-time is Balmain 12, Penrith 2. Tries to Galen Gardner, and 2 goals from 3 attempts to Ross Conlon. 1 goal to Fitzhenry from 1 attempt. Balmain 12, Penrith 2. Now, here's Graeme Hughes.
Thanks, Rex. Well, it's time for our Golden Try Viewers competition announcement for the correct order of the selection of our 6 nominated tries and, of course, our lucky viewer that matched up with our judges' choice of tries. We'll now show you the tries in order from the number 6 chosen try down to the number 1.
There's an overlap wide if they can use it. They can to Laurie Spina. Spina's got support on the outside. Gets a pass away to Wayne Challis. Challis goes through the line and goes round and scores. Chisholm, 7 metres outside his quarter. Almost time up in this third quarter. Up the blind side they come. There's a bit of an overlap here, and it's gone to Jason Moon. He's got the pass back on the inside to Coleman. Coleman's got it to support. There's a try straight away for Paul Roberts. And what a good try. Oh, what a good try it's been. He's standing at the open side of the ruck. He's got the ball now. Does a little shuffle, gets Toole through a gap, gets it to Clayton Friend. Friend globs a pass nicely. It's gone outside there beautifully to French. French got it to Wayne Alina. They won't catch him. That's the rugby union man, and he can hike, they can tell you. Hosking and Nelson, they did a great job in the opening half. Coleman, nice pass to Andrews. Support overran him slightly. He's got into the clear now. He's looking for support. He's got Mac there. He's throwing the dummy. Got a pass away to Blake, and Blake's over underneath the post. That was a great bit of solo football there by Andrews. He's come up with some very clever ball skills. About 6 minutes to go. Alexander, Batanza stands in a tackle, pops the ball, got it to Alexander. Started to skirt through the middle of the ruck. Beautiful run. Alexander's like a hare. He's gone berserk there and just cut him up. Oh, what a run. Hasler. Cochrane's kick will go to Potter. Oh, it ricochets over his head. It's a skiddy sort of a kick. Two chases down there. Ryan's one. The pass has got to O'Brien. He's gone through two tackles, three. He's way upfield. He's towards the halfway line. He's looking for support. He's got it nicely to Hagan. Hagan's outside. Got it to Gillespie. And Gillespie gets it back to Hagan. Oh, yes, I think that was a bit of unselfish football. But they've absolutely struck Manly on the line.
Well, there it is, the golden try for 1987. This is how your entries should have been filled in. Number 1, try A. Number 2, try E. 3, try D. 4, try B. 5, try C. And 6, try F. Well, we'll now go sideline, where David Fordham is also shaking up all the atmosphere down amongst the Australian Cowgirls dancing squad to see if we can find our lucky winner for 87.
Thanks, Graeme. It's foot-tapping time down here as the Australian Cowgirls perform, and it's my duty now to do the draw. And all the correct entries, I've been told by the organisers, have been placed in the barrel. So let's dig nice and deep into the barrel to see who the winner is for 1987. And the lucky winner is J. Pope of Kiama Downs in New South Wales. J. Pope of Kiama Downs. So, Graeme, a great prize that goes with it.
There certainly is, David. Mr. or Mrs. Pope wins the sub.
Not had an official estimate. We estimate somewhere around about 16, perhaps 17,000. But it really is a massive crowd when you look around it. They're ready to go in the third quarter or the second half, whichever way takes your fancy. And David, what's the information? There are no changes on either side.
No changes to either side. It's do or die now for Penrith. 40 minutes of cup action football to go, Rex. But I'd like to be in Balmain's shoes after that first half performance. But they've got a couple of players that can spark this Penrith side. Let's hope they can get back into the second half.
OK, well, let's see whether they can or not. Here's David Brooks coming up with a strong burst to get them out of their quarter right from the outset. Back to Scott Gale. It's a monumental punt downfield. It's gone high on the bounce. Lydiard takes it, can't get himself free. Yes, he can. Well, he evaded two tacklers and ran into Clark, who's had a very good game tonight, Paul Clark.
What a drop ball from Penrith in that first half. Let's just check out those tackles. Only 92. Balmain having to make 112. Brooks leading the way with 20, along with Clark on 19, and Ackery and Bentley coming up trumps for the Panthers.
Well, there's I consider that an accident really there. I don't believe David Brooks intended to get himself tangled, but I think his leg got actually tangled up with the other fella's arm.
Well, a fairly tough penalty going against the Tigers there. It doesn't change the fact that Greg Alexander's going to have to put his stamp on this cup final very shortly. Only 39 minutes remaining in the action. Radizar's got to come into play as well. Alexander can't afford to sit back. He's got to cut loose. They're going to have to score twice.
Simmons, Fitzhenry, Brandon Lee, about 5 metres outside the Balmain quarter. Fitzhenry, Alexander, Izzard, the dummy, the weave. Went very, very close to getting right through there. As Alexander skips into dummy half, fires a pass away there to Paul Bentley, who's taken play to within 15, 18 metres of the Balmain line. John Cartwright, absolutely nobody for him to pass to. Stood there like a statue waiting. Nobody came. Alexander switches the play across the ruck. Got it to Robards. Robards got tackled 10 metres out. The last tackle coming up. Cartwright, the long pass away to Ackery. They're keeping the ball going. Davison tries to trap that one with his foot and manages to get back into the field of play.
Well, as cool as you please, says John Davidson. Again, we see a player down, but he tried to trap the ball. That could have gone anywhere. The ball bounced his way, though, and he was lucky to get back into the field of play.
Yes, indeed. It's another case of a Balmain player just going down under pressure there. It's very hard for the referee to discern whether a player is being genuine about these matters or not. Davidson's okay. He's up and about. He's going to play the ball about 2 metres out from his line. 12 points to 2. Penrith got it all to do. Elias and a Wayne Pearce up the blind side. Excellent tackle there by Izzard. Jack bulldozed his way another 3 or 4 metres. They're 10 metres out from their line now. On to Suranen. There's a good tackle too by Gaia right round the legs.
Penrith require good chases of the kickers here. Benny Elias took the shortcut, took a leaf out of the book of his opposite number, Royce Simmons. He's going to take the feed here and continue with possession. Now missed tackles, Balmain. Surprisingly 15 in that first half. Penrith Panthers only the 6.
Well, Mark Robinson did best there. The ball didn't touch his leg. He took very quick avoiding action. Scott Gale running from dummy half now for Balmain. He's about 5 metres outside his quarter. Elias, Gary Jack, another top tackle there. There's Brandon Lee, away to Wayne Pearce. He certainly motors. He's an object lesson in commitment when he runs. There's Elias getting a serve as he kicks the ball out in the full.
That's the tactics that I said a minute ago that they need. They've got to harass these Balmain kickers, put them under pressure and make them come up with a mistake well and truly near their own quarter line. Now they have the chance to get back into the game. Alexander feeding.
Penrith now come up with the ball. Cole Bentley trying to take his way through there. There's Brad Izzard going strong. He's only about 5 metres out from the line. Alexander, Gaia, Cartwright. On to Simmons, who's driven backwards in the tackle. Fitzhenry. Gaia backing towards his opponent's line. He's got himself into the quarter. Alexander. Robards. There's nothing much coming at this stage for Penrith. Oh, there's a kick being taken. It's 6 to go. Touch the Balmain player. Fitzhenry's grabbed it. Izzard. Ackery. Mounts a strong charge there. Made about 7 or 8 metres. Cartwright belts his way forward another 5 metres. Simmons. Alexander. Got to pass away beautifully out to Gaia. Gaia out there to Lydiard. Lydiard taken over the sideline, into touch by the tackle of Russell Gardner.
Alexander starting to come into play, taking the first pass off the ruck. He's moved into that halfback position on more times than not. Penrith did everything right through Mark Gaia there out to Lydiard, but so did the Balmain defence in the experienced Russell Gardner.
Yes, old Russell, he's got a head screwed on him and he knows the shortcuts. Going very well. Yes, David, we've got a few players lining up in the warming up on the sideline. Who are they?
Yes, Matt Goodwin and Joe Vitanza, 2 great ball-playing forwards in this Penrith side. It appears from what Joe Vitanza just told me, Rex, that they'll be replacing the 2 front rowers, Paul Ackery and Brandon Lee. So Matt Goodwin in 14, Joe Vitanza on 15, about to make their mark on this cup final.
Okay. Kick's been put downfield. Mark Robinson has it. Throws the dummy. Through the pass, the ball touched a Balmain player and then was knocked on by Izzard, so they're getting every chance. Well, the replacements are on now. It's Goodwin on for Ackery and Vitanza on for Brandon Lee. Robinson runs from dummy half there, made a diagonal run out to Goodwin. And a penalty's been awarded against Balmain, offside in the 3/4. Fitzhenry to kick for touch. It's a good kick. Play about 5 metres outside the Balmain quarter now. Izzard. Bentley. Vitanza. Away to Bentley again. Still going. Finally tackled. Lydiard. Vitanza. searches his way to the quarter line, Balmain's end. Alexander, Fitzhenry, sights a gap, tries to go through it, pulled down by Surinan. Long cut-out pass out to Goodwin. Goodwin dispossesses himself of Davidson very easily. Scott Gale was there in cover. Fitzhenry kicks. Gary Jack's chasing. Takes the ball in the in-goal area and is put down by Fitzhenry.
And again, good tactics by Penrith. They've certainly had all the play starting off in this second half. Gary Jack, nowhere to go really. Good chasing from Penrith. Now they get the ball back once again, but a touch judge in, and this will be for an incident involving the winger, Mark Robinson, and Scott Gale. He took exception to the tackle only a moment ago. He threw a punch in the tackle. I didn't see anything coming by the way of Scotty Gale.
Mark Robinson's trotting up now. It's a long way for him to come. He was back beyond the halfway line. Let's hope it's serious enough to be spoken about. Put a whole play up. So the touch judge offering his opinion. The referee listening very carefully.
This is to play the ball in question. Robinson will struggle to his feet here. Scotty Gale trying to wrestle him back down to the ground to gain some time for the Balmain side. You'll see Robinson play the ball and let go. Well, he just missed it, but the right hand was certainly let go.
Izzard tries to catch that, but his brother cleans it up behind him. Is Craig Izzard going straight and strong. Simmons at dummy half. In my opinion, they rely too much on Mark Robinson, this Penrith side, to carry the ball strongly forward. He should be used in a slightly lesser way. Now here goes the Matt Goodwin, who's come on as a replacement. Royce Simmons, a cut-out pass out to Brad Izzard. Gets up, plays it forward, goes straight. He's only about 8 metres out now. Simmons, Alexander. Well, the referee's going to have to rule on that. It went quite definitely forward, no argument about it.
Alexander was holding the pass up, looking for somebody to charge onto it. Cartwright got himself into the clear, but couldn't control it as he knocked the ball forward. Penrith have got to start setting themselves on both sides of the play of the ball. On too many occasions as they come up with a scrum win against the feet, now it's gone back to Balmain, but they're setting themselves too much just for one side of the play. It makes it too easy for the defence to pick them out.
Russell Gardner goes up the blind side, makes about 7 or 8 metres too. Good strong bustle. Surinan using all his strength. Benny Elias. And still they come. Sinclair. Balmain forwards have done pretty well tonight. That's the end of the field they want to play. Deep down there. Robinson. There's good defence there by Gavin Hanrahan. Robards. Bentley. Well, Royce is being a little bit difficult about that. Says to the referee it was accidental.
I've got no qualms with the referee's decision. Royce was going off because he knows well and truly that this is right within the distance of Ross Conlon, anything out to the halfway line. Bentley, accidental or not, did use him as a shepherd there.
Yes, there's no doubt about that. So Conlon now will get the opportunity from midway between the halfway and the quarter line, directly in front, to land a goal. This game slowly but very, very surely slipping away from Penrith. 12 points to 2, 9 minutes of the third quarter to go. And it's got to be said that they haven't shown a whole lot. Still, it's not over until the final whistle is gone.
By the Panthers, Brad Izzard and Greg Alexander. I've already nominated the two guys who've got to stay and hunt for the ball. A mistake here by Balmain, and a chance for the Panthers now. Alexander will feed the scrum, and Brad Izzard moving into the 5'8" position.
Okay, well, the scrum going down just on the 10-yard line. It's in. And it's out the Balmain side. They got a good heave going on that occasion and came up with a strong scrum win. Great credit on the Balmain pack for that. Neil, the target of a couple of tackles. Clark, out to the quarter. 7 minutes to go. Gale. Straight out to Gardner. Gardner comes back on the inside. Long cut-out pass to Gale. He kicks midfield. Robinson. Yes, they've just about tabbed this fella now. They've got him pretty well worked out. Bentley. Royce Simmons could do a little bit more running from dummy half. Switch of a play across the ruck. Gaia got it out there to Robinson. Robinson's gone past one, gone past two. Can't get the pass away. Gary Jack came in strongly there. That might be the end of Gary Jack. That might be the end of Gary Jack. We shall see.
You'll see both players, Lydiard, who was in support of Robinson, and Gary Jack clash. Lydiard goes to defend himself and sticks his arm up. Shoulder charge from Gary Jack. Mick Stone might take the course of a professional foul. You'll see the shoulder charge, the shoulder drop by Gary Jack. 5 minutes in the sin bin. He's taken the course of a professional foul. So 12 men left on the field for the Tigers.
12 men, Balmain. A penalty gone to Penrith. 14 points to 2. Alexander decides against kicking for goal, kicks for touch. And they're going to hope to retain possession for 6 and pound away. Cartwright gets a pass away, and it's the first tackle they've lost the ball. It would make you sick. Pearce comes up with it.
David, a change in the Penrith side.
Yes, Rob Robarts has been replaced by coach Tim Sheens. His replacement is young Darren Curry. Rest assured that Benny Elias and Scotty Gale contest this youngster out of the kicking game, and this ticks away to three-quarter time.
Well, the penalty awarded to Balmain. Scott Gale will take it. That ball seems very light when he kicks it. It didn't go end over end at all. There's Gardner coming on the run around from that tap restart. Makes about 5 metres, just outside his quarter. David Brooks running as a foil there for Clark to get it. Clark motors forward another 5 metres. Sinclair. Elias is taken out of the play there, suffered some sort of a knock to the head. The referees ignored it. Penrith have come up with a play. Batanz has got it. Out to Alexander. Fitzhenry. Beautifully straight to Curry. Curry steps, goes back on the inside. He's only 8 metres away now from the Balmain line. Elias is back there being treated. Izzard. And there's a penalty against Balmain for Neil diving through, and they play the ball. Taken by Cartwright. Cartwright strong and hard. Gets it to Goodwin, and Goodwin's in! That's a good quick thinking try.
Mark Robinson's the man that's crashed over wide out. Quick tap taken by the Penrith side. They caught the Balmain Tigers napping on the national Panasonic replay. Cartwright has played strongly tonight, stands in the tackle, and Mark Robinson, he's got plenty of power, the right winger, and he crashes over. So Penrith trying to get back into this 87 Cup final. They now have a chance.
Now Benny Elias is still down being treated back there towards the middle of halfway, between the quarter and the halfway line. That's where Benny's been seated for the last 2 or 3 minutes. Penrith have survived and scored immediately from this action here, with Cartwright showing one of his many ball skills. Gets a pass away one-handed. Mark Robinson is the man who was able to use his strength and size and pace to get over in the corner. Now Fitzhenry's going to attempt to kick from the sideline. It would have a euphoric effect on his team were he to kick it. With 3 minutes to go, 14 points to 6. But he's not going to kick it. It's curling, but it's not come around enough. So the score remains Balmain 14, Penrith 6. Well, Benny's back at his feet. 3 minutes to go to three-quarter time. $14 points to 6. Balmain lead. Conlon kicks off. Craig Izzard takes it, gives it to brother Brad. Gets beyond the quarter. Gets to his feet, plays it back to brother Brad. Makes another few yards. Royce Simmons at dummy half. Good quick hands out to Alexander. Well, here it is. It's erupted again with David Lydiard there being tackled. Davidson, I think, was the man who went into him very, very strongly. And this looks like the Battle of Bull Run. They're all having a go down there at the moment. It's a disaster. An absolute disaster. Davidson is the man, I believe, who started that.
Well, I'm not going to agree with you, Rex. The man carrying the football was David Lydiard. As he was running with the ball, to me, he put the elbow and the forearm straight into the face of John Davidson. He took exception and took it from there. Here it is here, Lydiard, the elbow and the forearm straight into the face of Davidson, and Davidson said he'd had enough. Is that the way you saw it, David?
It happened right in front of me, Graeme. As you called it, the elbow was definitely lifted, and John Davidson retaliated, and that's all it needed to spark this all-in brawl. And certainly it all erupted over this touchline as Gary Jack comes back on to make the full complement for the Balmain side, but let's hope nobody else gets marched.
Well, we've got now Gary Jack's back on the football field. Lydiard's being spoken to. Davidson's going to be called over and spoken to. They're right standing in the Tigers area there. I don't know whether that's significant or not.
Well, there's a lot of pressure to bear here because early in the season, the use of a forearm by any players who were running with the football, they were dealt with, and we saw them being sent from the field. Here you'll see it, the elbow, no doubt about it. It's high and straight into the face of John Davidson.
Well, there's the end of three-quarter time, and just pending this particular bit of action and the result from it, we'll go through the try scorers. Balmain's 14 points came from Gale and Gardner. Goals, Conlon 3 from 4. Penrith 6 points came from a try to Robinson. They've both been sent off for 10 minutes.
10 minutes in the bin for Goodwin and Lydiard, and also David Brooks and John Davidson. And quite correctly, forget about the crowd. They're on Mick Stone's backs. They're throwing some rubbish onto the field now, but it's well and truly the right decision.
Goals, Fitzhenry 1 from 2. So Conlon, after the third quarter's whistle has gone, or the hooter has gone, is now going to attempt a goal resulting from that contretemps that took place just a few moments ago. Yes, David, well, you've heard a warning that referee Stone gave to both captains, and the players that are off the field still there with 8 minutes to go.
Yes, Rex, Michael Stone mentioned to both captains, Royce Simmons and Wayne Pearce, that he won't tolerate any of what we saw just before the three-quarter time break. Both sides playing with 11. We've got Brooks and Matt Goodwin, and the two wingers, Lydiard and Davidson, another 8 3/4 minutes to serve in this final quarter of the Cup final.
14 points to 6, a game of touch football virtually now, with 2 men off for 10 minutes, or another 8 3/4 minutes to go. Now, Elias. On to Sinclair, and he's strong. It's a matter of all mucking in together now, because there are going to be some gigantic holes appear out there.
And again, Penrith have got to force the errors. Don't let them settle back into their kicking game. Chase Scotty Gale and put pressure on him.
Well, Gale has been taken out of the play. The referee doesn't conceive it to have been an error or a penalty. I'm inclined to agree with him. Gale was submerged under a player that came towards him. Then he's up and about now. Penrith in possession, back 10 metres out from their quarter line. Oh dear, this Penrith side, really, they've spilt possession again in the opening seconds of this game, and Balmain are in possession just outside their quarter. Elias at dummy half, Sirenen slowly to his feet. Out to Conlon. Gale, long cut-out pass out to Gardner. Gardner goes up the sideline. Gets to the quarter. To Gary Jack. Fancies his chances, takes a bit of a plunge straight ahead there. Elias dummies to kick, caught by the collar and pulled down. The last tackle coming up, Scott Gale, a dummy half. Away to Conlon, the kick into the in-goal area will be too far, but it had to be covered anyway, so it was taken over the dead ball line.
Plenty of experience from Conlon. This is all time, valuable time that Penrith can't afford to lose. The dead ball line there, very deep at Parramatta Stadium. 6 more tackles now to the Tigers, who won't forget also to set themselves for just the 1 point.
And here's Neil, straight, midway between the halfway and the quarter line, on a Gary Jack. He's being involved in everything at the moment. Very forceful player, but I don't believe I've seen him pass the football all evening. Wayne Pearce, about 5 metres short of the quarter line. Benny Elias goes for a scurry, stops, props, comes back. Gardner, Gale, Surinam stands in a tackle, gets a pass away to Scott Gale. The referee again allowing apparently Gale to dummy behind one of his teammates. And there was an excellent kick by Benny Elias to take play to within 2 metres of the Penrith line.
Good kick from Benny Elias, just referring back to those. Scotty Gale running behind the man, his own Tiger teammate. He didn't impede anybody that was going to make the tackle, so Michael Stone couldn't really force the penalty for the Penrith side.
Alexander. Izzard comes away with a strong burst. They need a bit more than one out running at the moment. They've got pace in their three-quarter line. They should use it during this period of play. Bertans is a dummy half. No, he's not. Alexander is. Kicking downfield. Hanrahan will go back for it. It's rolling end over end. Don't tackle him too hard. Hanrahan gets to his feet. There was no problem there. Gary Jack runs and gets beyond the quarter line. Elias, Pearce. Benny Elias onto Clark. And Clark wrapped up there midway between the quarter and the halfway line. Midfield, Sinclair, Gale, Conlon, Surinam. Has the ball stolen from him by Alexander. And he has the ball stolen from him. So knock-ons both ways. $16,823 people, the official attendance. Alexander. Oh dear, they lose the ball on the first tackle all the time. It really is a tragedy.
Full credit to the big fella, Paul Surinam, dragging himself out of that scrum and being able to get to Alexander.
Now Gale playing halfback for the Tigers, not a position unknown to him. Out to Gardner on the blind side. Jack's gone to dummy half. He's got to run from there. Tearing his way through. Still going. That's a great run. Elias, Gale, Clark. Well, Benny deserves to have lost that one, but I thought Fitzhenry came round and fell on an unmarked ball there, but the referee thinks otherwise.
Benny Elias, the man, just about caught napping there. He was looking back for the man to call for the ball. Royce Simmons arguing yet again with Mick Stone, and Billy Anderson refusing to go to the bench at this stage, not having used any of its reserves for the Balmain side. It's a great compliment to the team that's had a heavy workload in the last few weeks, especially the State of Origin players. And another change for Penrith, David Fordham.
Yes, Gary Longhurst coming on at 16. I think you'll see the man replaced is Izzard, the lock forward, who seemed to injure himself in that last tackle.
Well, Longhurst is a player that's very versatile. He can play either half-back or he can play hooker. Now, Conlon's got this opportunity from midway between the quarter and the halfway line. He's about 10 metres off centre. There's the dimension of the kick. 14 points to 6. And he's failed with that one, but he's kicked it dead, so it'll be a quarter line dropout now to restart the action. Longhurst being brought into the middle of the field to take his place in the team. Well, Craig Izzard is the man who's coming from the field. Russell Gardner in possession. No, it's not. It's Neil. Now he's got it back to Jack. He's still there. He's got to pass away. Got it on to Conlon. Conlon steps his way into the clear, but picked up after about a 10-metre run. Elias. Conlon. Gale. Overlap here. That was Neil, and he's got himself to within 10 metres of the quarter line.
All four sin binners just there briefly in the tunnel, waiting just seconds to go before they rejoin the field.
Here's Scott Gale. Steps, goes back in field, taken well in a head-on tackle by Greg Alexander. Elias. Conlon. Pearce straightens it up. Goes back midfield. Gets a pass away to Surinams. Tears his way ahead. They're 9 metres away from scoring. Sinclair charges at the line. He's tackled 1 metre short. And it's a handover. Well, there they go. It looks like the charge of the Light Brigade. The 4 players coming back from the field. So both sides back to full strength right now. 12 minutes to go in this National Panasonic Cup final. That kick will probably find touch. It does. It's a great kick. Kick from 10 metres into the field of play from his own goal line, 10 metres beyond the halfway line, so 50 metres.
One of the few breaks that have certainly run Penrith's way. Ball just managed to get over the line. I wonder if it's an omen that things might... And Alexander's appealing that the ball was touched in flight.
Scott Gale feeds the scrum. Mark Robinson comes in hard. Well, that's the first time tonight in a multitude of occasions when Balmain players have been slow to get to their feet that they've been penalised. David Fordham, you've got anything on light on that you can throw?
Yes, all I can say is that Wayne Pearce showed his disgust at the back chatting there, which cost them another 10 yards, Rex.
Royce Simmons. Not a good one. Charging for the line. Simmons away to Matanza. I think the ball's gone free. It has to Longhurst. Simmons. Cartwright onto Gaia. Oh dear, oh dear. Slipped over, lost the ball. Balmain back in possession. Neil runs the blind side. Balmain really have only got to go through the motions now with 10 minutes to go. Gary Jack, very forcible player. Continually taking on the forwards load. Last tackle coming up. Scott Gale evades 1, 2, 3. He's through the middle of the field. Looks for support. Got it out to Hanrahan. Hanrahan's got it to Davidson. Davidson goes straight and hard, but can't get away. And the referee has ruled that it's a handover.
And not just a handover, but after the general caution issued to the captains leaving the field at the end of the third quarter. Oh, a high tackle from Alexander.
Well, Penrith now really only going through the motions. They can't possibly get back into this game playing the sort of football they're playing. Balmain have made a change, David.
Yes, John Owens is on in number 16. He's replaced Paul Sheeran, and obviously the work rate of John Owens come in very handy for Balmain with 8 minutes to go and an 8-point lead.
The kick downfield by Alexander. They're all racing for it. Gary Jack will get there first. And he's tackled straight away by Mark Robinson, who did a 70-yard sprint to get to that. Gary Jack having a left leg attended to. Eight minutes to go, 14 points to 6. And Elias at dummy half. Here's Stephen Humphries, first touch of the ball. On the blind side to Wayne Pearce. He's had a powerful game tonight. Elias at dummy half. This is for Scott Gale. The kick downfield. Lydiard takes it. Not going anywhere at all. Neil and David Brooks were there to greet him. Izzard, a diagonal run. Found his way into the clear. Got a pass away beautifully to Fitzhenry. Fitzhenry going up the sideline. And Neil brings him off with a beautiful tackle. A copybook tackle. Now can Penrith do something from here? Out to Batanza. Batanza away. Out to Gaia. Gaia's going strongly. Shows the ball. Gets a pass. No, he doesn't. He held it. I thought he was going to switch the play back on the inside to Mark Robinson. Robinson. Batanza. Longhurst. Tackled 3 metres short of the quarter line. Away they come again. Alexander kicks straight ahead. I think he might have been tripped. The referee says no, threw his arms wide, indicating that everything was okay. Stephen Humphries takes it off again from dummy half. Just about 5 metres outside his line. Owens carried on the good work there. Now Benny Elias doing a bit of a goose step there to put the opposition. Gets out to within 1 metre of the quarter line. Gale, little kick over the top. And very well taken by Neil. Can't get to his feet. Gale, Elias. Taken beautifully there by 17, Danny Curry. Curry's moving nicely. Got a long pass away, overhead pass, hasn't gone out. Gone back by Lydiard and taken off the ground, and now he's attempting to go forward again. Five minutes to go. Fitzhenry. Batanza. Longhurst to dummy half. Out to Simmons. There's a penalty been awarded against Balmain inside the 5. But kick for touch. That's a good kick. Takes play deep into the quarter.
And the most vital set of 6 tackles in the cup final. What Balmain have to do is just keep them out. They will then get the ball, have a chance to play with the ball, waste more time. That should wrap it up. And another major mistake from Penrith. It's been the downfall all night in the cup final of 87. They just haven't been able to retain possession for the full set of 6.
Gary Jack running from dummy half, and he's put in a workload tonight that really boggles the mind. And he's not only a fullback, he's a forward, he's a halfback, he's a 5'8", he's a second rower, he's a prop. He does it all. Scott Gale running from dummy half. We saw his twinkling feet involved just a few moments ago. Now he's down to receive attention. We're inside the last 5 minutes. It'll be a meritorious win to Balmain, whose footballers, or some of the personnel, have had a very, very heavy workload in the last 3 weeks. I think it's something like 5 games in the last 17 or 18 days.
Especially for that man there, Wayne Pearce, who's had a very strong game in defence, made some half breaks up the middle of the rucks. Superb athlete and having a great year.
Well, there he is now, getting to his feet and playing it. Back to Benny Elias, swept that one on the full over the sideline. And that should negate the... it does negate the put-in, or the Balmain keeping of the ball onto Izzard. Izzard's going strongly. A very powerful man. He had a great big fend in the face of a Balmain player. Robinson trying it from dummy half. Royce Simmons on a Matt Goodwin. Charges straight ahead. They're only about 6 metres out from the line. Alexander. Ackery. Bad pass. Not knocked on though. Knocked back. Picked up by Robinson. Gaia. Alexander. Batanza. Tries desperately to straighten up with a little bit of a half side step there. Simmons running from dummy half, does a kick through, taken by Fitzhenry, and it's a try. Now whether he was onside or not's another matter.
Well, the National Panasonic replays might show us just Royce Simmons running out. He sets himself to kick just over the line. Well, Mike Stoner is in a perfect position to see Fitzhenry, the man, snapping it up, and with only minutes to go in the 87 National Panasonic Cup final, what looked like a perfect victory for the Balmain Tigers now is going down right to the line as we see Royce Simmons again run out of that dummy half position. The chip across field. Andrew Fitzhenry, the 18-year-old, scoops it up, and now some hope again for the Penrith Panthers.
Well, if they kick the goal, it's going to be 14-12, but then they'll have about a minute and a half to go with the ball back in their possession from the kickoff. Here's Fitzhenry. Okay, he raises the flags. Balmain will now come back and have to survive about a minute and a half.
Well, this is what cup final is all about. The pressure, the tension now applied to the dying seconds. Billy Anderson must be wondering how they could lose it after playing so well tonight. But Penrith have fought back brilliantly in the third and fourth quarters and dominated territorially the last half of the cup final.
Izzard's got the ball from the kickoff. It couldn't have gone to a better player. He makes 25 metres. And now he's hurt. And the Balmain players, some of them appealing to the referee, one thinks for a penalty or some operation that would indicate that Izzard is faking. Nothing apparent in the replay. Well, nobody in this crowd has moved. 16,800 odd people have come in. And there's still 16,000 sitting around.
And how ironic it would be if the Tigers are going to add the National Panasonic Cup in 1987. They won the Cup in 85 by exactly the same scoreline, 14-12. We're into the last minute of play. And for the Penrith Panthers, a penalty goal to tie the scores would give them the 87 National Panasonic Cup final at this stage. 2 tries apiece. The penalties, Penrith way, 10-8.
All right, well, that interesting bit of information would wrap the whole thing up. We all know what we've got to do, what we've got to play for. So Izzard's apparently okay. He's well enough to play the ball. He's had knees in the back in that tackle, quite obviously. Plays it. Gives it on to Batanza. Batanza stands in a tackle, had the opportunity to offload, didn't do so. Roy Simmons runs from dummy half, makes a small gain. Out to Alexander, the cutout pass, out to Gaia. Gaia out to Robinson. Robinson goes up the sideline. He gets towards the halfway line, is tackled. Fitzhenry, Alexander. That's the end of the section. Gaia's just lost the ball. And Balmain have come up with it through Owens. And they'll go through the motions now for the dying stages of this game to come away with a scoreline that'll read 14 points to 12.
And they'll be exceptionally slow play the balls on the behalf of the Balmain side.
Owens being pulled up there by one of the recalcitrant Penrith players. Owens at dummy half. On to Wayne Pearce. He runs slightly diagonally. Last tackle coming up. Benny Elias kicks downfield. It will go over the sideline. And it will be a scrum, the last of the match, with Penrith to feed. Well, very slow scrum formation by Balmain. It's in and out the Balmain side. Greg Alexander's dropped it, but he's dropped it backwards according to the referee. There's the hurdler in the background gone. The player. Well, we don't need that. The last tackle of the match was a very high spear type of tackle. Players raced in, so that is the end of the section for Penrith. We've had a scoreline that reads 14 points to 12. The scorers for the Balmain side have been Gale and Gardner, a try each. Conlon, 3 goals. For Penrith, Robinson and Fitzhenry have scored tries, and Fitzhenry 2 goals. That's the difference, 1 set of goals.
Certainly was a fight. The victory, the 1987 National Panasonic Cup to Balmain, the team that has become the most successful club in Cup history. And of course, celebrating also for the Tigers, coach Bill Anderson's 2nd Cup win after taking South there in 1981. And a magnificent moment again for Wayne Pearce as the crowd applaud the performance of this Balmain side. There to make the presentation of the Cup, Mr. John McGuirk, the state manager, the New South Wales state manager of National Panasonic. Also Mr. John Quayle, the general manager of the league. And again, for the 2nd time, this moment for Wayne Pearce. To the victor go the spoils. The National Panasonic Cup, Wayne Pearce sharing it there with his teammates, Gary Jack. They won the Cup, of course, in 85. The Tigers were runners-up also in 1986. They've come back again with a vengeance. As I mentioned, the first year back in the coaching scene for Bill Anderson. Successful with Souths in 1981. But the Tigers, after leading for most of the match, surviving the comeback by a very gallant Penrith side who put up a magnificent performance in the 2nd half. So close for Tim Sheens. But Wayne Pearce, again, another moment of joy for the New South Wales skipper. Now Wayne Pearce has got the cup, and right now he's joined David Fordham.
Well, Wayne, what a great moment. You did it 2 years ago. What's the feeling like?
Well, it's even sweeter this time because Cronulla made us work 2 years ago, but Penrith made us work even harder tonight. We've had a pretty big week, and they pushed us all the way.
Wayne, it's been a tremendous effort by the Balmain side under a lot of pressure, but it's a great effort by a whole good team effort.
Not only the team, the whole club's got together. The whole club's been behind us, and that includes our supporters as well.
Okay, Piercy celebrated.